Hello, in this video we shall be talking about another concept of government called sovereignty. Sovereignty is defined as the absolute power of a state to exercise legal authority over its own affairs without the fear of external control or interference. Now, there are some factors of sovereignty. One of them is permanence. Now, as long as that state exists, its power or its right to exercise its authority and control over affairs of its own they exist. Those powers exist as long as the state exists. Secondly, you have indivisibility and inalienability. This means that these powers cannot be shared, destroyed, or transferred. Thirdly, you have comprehensiveness. Now, these powers will reach different aspects of the leadership and will be very understandable to the citizens and to the leadership itself. And lastly, there's absoluteness, which means these powers to exercise its rights over affairs of its own are absolute and they cannot be taken away or interfered with by an external control. Now, let's consider types of sovereignty. Firstly, legal sovereignty. Now, this sovereignty is the right and authority to make laws and ensure obedience of these laws. So there's implementation and there's enforcement. We'll move on to political authority. Now, this authority is known as popular authority because it's the authority or it's the sovereignty vested in the citizens of the state to choose representatives of their choice. Thirdly, you have de facto sovereignty. Now, this sovereignty is the ability, is the power attained or the rights gotten through force or coercion. You have de jure sovereignty. Now, de jure sovereignty is the one gotten from constitution. You also have internal sovereignty. Now, internal sovereignty is the right the government of that state has to make laws and ensure obedience without having to worry about interference from external forces. Lastly, let's talk about limitations to sovereignty of a state. First of all, coup d'etats can prevent sovereignty. The supremacy of the law, how supreme it is, how strong it is, can prevent sovereignty of a state. Now, how powerful the state itself is can prevent sovereignty of a state. Now, a state like Haiti doesn't really have much power when USA wants to interfere in its affairs. Next, let's talk about political culture. Now, this is the belief, ideas, and norms that guide the behavior of people in their political system. Now, there are three components of political culture. You have the cognitive component, you have the evaluative component, and you have the affective component. Now, the cognitive component is defined as the understanding and knowledge these citizens have of their political system. Then, evaluative component is how these citizens evaluate and critically assess their political system. Thirdly, affective component is how they feel or what they feel towards this political system. Next, we'll talk about political socialization. Now, this is how the government educates citizens on the sentiments and beliefs of a particular political system. There are various agents of political socializations, and these agents are the mass media, peer groups, pressure groups, political parties, and family. And now, let's talk about oligarchy. This is a system of government where power lies in the hands of few powerful privileged people. There are different forms of oligarchy. You have plutocracy. Now, in plutocracy, power lies in the hands of rich and wealthy people. Aristocracy, we move on to aristocracy, where power lies in the hands of people with high social standing. These people are regarded as nobles. You also have theocracy. Here, power lies in the hands of priests and high men of God. This system is run on a religious basis. And finally, you have military. Now, here, power lies in the hands of the armed forces. In our next video, we'll be considering even more concepts of government.